Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be looking at the Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus. Before we get in this video, as always, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed. It produces 349 horsepower and then 479 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, it's very boxy. You can see it's raised there on either side. Look at the windshield, super upright. And then, love the little turn signal indicators there. The overall headlight design I think is pretty cool looking. You guys can see with the fog lights down below. And then notice how it's painted there at the very bottom. And then with the Overtrail, you do get some skid plate protection underneath to make it a little bit more off-road worthy. So our tire wheel setup is 265 by 70 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. Lexus calls this a 33-inch tall tire. It's not quite a 33, but I guess if you round. Anyways, big chunky fender flares there. You can see the spoke design as well, pretty rugged looking. Rock rail protection from the factory. This one also has the factory roof rack, which we'll talk about the noise with that a little bit later. But here's your side profile, again, very boxy. Now this leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function, opening for the rear hatch. You got the Lexus logo there on the back as well. And let's take a look at this hatch area. It is very spacious here in the rear. You can see the load floor there is at a pretty solid height. You can get a third row with the GX, not with the Overtrail though. Maybe they'll change that in the future. But yeah, really nice setup overall. When you're all done, just press that and that will lower the hatch right back down. Still not a huge fan of the crazy light bar design here on the back end, but it's unique, that's for sure. And the little diaper cover over the receiver hitch is kind of funny. It looks like a diaper to me. Anyways, there's the rest of the rear. Sorry, I lied. This also has the pop-open window manual. Now, moving along to the rear, sunshades for the passengers. Really tight fit and finish with the trim. Yeah, these seats, I mean, I guess it kind of blends with the exterior, but it's pretty ugly with the color, if you ask me. But legroom's good. Little storage pocket. Got vents here in the rear. Heated seats. Got some USB ports. And because that boxy design, headroom back here is pretty good. The sunroof, though, kind of creates a little lump back here. And this leads us to the front, where we've got nice soft touch trim here at the top. See down below as well. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. We've got all of our window controls here. The mirrors do power fold in. And then here's the front seat. I mean, look at this, like tan to green to black. What are they thinking? Now this does have quite a bit of payload, 1545. Power adjustments on the seats. And then again, we've got more of that nice trim on the dash. So here's a look at the steering wheel. Nice trim all around with the leather. I will say this is going to show more wear than like the soft text that they use on the Land Cruiser sibling. Anyways, paddle shifters there on the back for the 10-speed. We do have a bunch of practical controls here on the front, including for adaptive cruise control, lane centering. Toyota's system is Toyota Lexus, same company. Anyways, it's a really good system. Got your regular stocks here on the back. And then we've got this nice digital gauge cluster. You can see what I've been averaging, so a little bit less than 17 miles per gallon. EPA ratings are 1521. But yeah, this is just a pretty cool system to use. I like the little drive mode select. Kind of gives you a fun setup depending on what drive mode you select. So, nice 360 camera system, fills in underneath the vehicle when you move. Really good resolution. No complaints with that whatsoever. And then infotainment system, quick to respond. Easy to use overall. You've got your dual zone climate controls down below, heated and ventilated seats. You can set everything to auto, including the steering wheel, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, giant screen set up there. And then we've got our drive mode select down below. Also comes with multi-train select and crawl control since it's an off-road Yoda. We've got stability control in our tow haul mode as well. Shifter here for the 10-speed, got your parking brake and auto hold. And then we have our advanced four-wheel drive system. The reason why I say advanced is it's a Torsen. It's a nice four-wheel drive system. So 2-speed transfer case, Center and rear locking differential as well. Got the phone charging pad. Cool box, center console. Nice trim here on the top. Same thing with the dash. And then just a pretty normal glove box. A regular rear view mirror, not a camera, which is interesting. And then we do have a sunroof up top. Now this does come at a pretty hefty price tag. So base MSRP, you can see $75,900. Got some options added to it though. After all options, $84,575. See how it performs. Visibility over the hood, both the mirrors do a blind spot warning, and they're boxy throughout the rest of the rear. Let us set off. Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus, and before you ask, yes, I will do a comparison with this against my Land Cruiser. I know a lot of people are currently in that debate. Do I get a GX550 or do I get a Land Cruiser Prado? You get a 200 series. Okay, just kidding. But also kind of not. With the GX550, first off, EKDSS. That is the big thing with the GX550. It has Toyota's new EKDSS. Really, really cool system. I think it's difficult to appreciate this system outside of the new Land Cruiser, and that's why I really want to do a comparison, because then I'll be able to really show you guys. But here's what you need to know for this review. Suspension comfort's really good with the EKDSS, and it also handles really well. So if this didn't have EKDSS, it wouldn't soak up the bumps quite as well, and it just wouldn't handle as well. This feels like it kind of mitigates a lot of the body roll that you get with a body on frame big heavy SUV like this. And then yeah, so like corners like that feel a lot better, and then going over train tracks, that compression, again, it just soaks it up a lot more. This feels pretty close to the 200 series in terms of comfort, which is pretty impressive because the 200 series is one of the most comfortable vehicles on the market. And then the acceleration with this V6, pretty darn solid. It is pretty darn solid. It's got great low end torque. Doesn't have a huge top end because it's not that high with the horsepower. Again, only 349 horsepower. But it's quick enough. Now you do get quite a bit of noise from the roof rack, so that is one downside if you do get the roof rack. I know it looks cool, but maybe consider, if you're not gonna use the roof rack, maybe consider not getting it, because then you save yourself lots of wind noise, and you probably could get a little bit better fuel economy than what I am currently getting, because, well, you wouldn't have so much resistance up top. But yeah, I mean, this is a very nice luxury vehicle. Like, seats are comfortable, the ride quality is really comfortable, the insulation's pretty good other than the wind noise up top with the roof rack, and it's honestly not that bad. It's just a really nice setup overall. I think that they did a really good job. Again, this is supposed to be a Land Rover Defender competitor. I also did a comparison with those two, so you guys will be able to see that video as well. And, you know, I think, again, it does a really good job with the features that this offers. At the price point that it's at, it's just a really nice setup. And then the engine and everything, it's cool. It's really well put together. Some things I'd critique this for, other than the wind noise, the Lexus style. It's better than it used to be, but it still kind of looks funky when you have the pointed front end, and then the rest of the car is like just straight up boxy. It's kind of strange, a little bit. But I get it. They're, you know, trying to stick with the style they've had for some time. It's interior color, not a fan of that, but that's something that's easy to change. And then, yeah, fully loaded, this is an expensive vehicle. $85,000. I mean, this is knocking on the doorstep of what the 200 series was before it was discontinued, and this is a Prado. It's not a full size, so yeah, inflation, right? So let me know what you guys think about the new GX550. I think it's a pretty cool rig overall. I'll have an off-road review. I'll have a comparison with the Defender and the new Land Cruiser 250. So stay tuned for that. See ya.